Hey world, it's Bean want to come back with another video. I guess you can call it a bean attack today because I've been in the garden. I'm feeling good today. There's a lot of information out there, and today I wanted to address the new education bill that was just passed in Texas here. Texas just passed the new education bill, which actually gave teachers a raise. Okay, like a $4,000 to $6,000 raise coming this year. But the education bill also included, other programs that's supposed to improve the reading literacy of third graders. All right, as well as improve the high school dropout rate by having more accommodation for seniors to go to college and to have more programs available for them once they complete their high school diploma. Okay, and so but I asked, I'm really curious about this plan because one, of course it's gonna give teachers a raise. That's cool. Okay, but two, the program that's supposed to address the third grade literacy. Only problem I have with this particular education plan is it's not. It didn't say anything about addressing the special education discrepancy and how kids are being targeted, or not actually targeted, but how kids are actually being, assigned to special education. See, when you look at the numbers, it's just such a huge discrepancy when it comes to Afro-melanated kids, being recommended for special education. And me being a former special education teacher, I can say that, the education bill that actually kind of started these numbers to skyrocket was in 2002 when George Bush passed the No Child Left Behind education bill. Okay, now that particular bill was supposed to be a bill of inclusion, where every child had the opportunity to learn and be in the same type of learning environment as other children. But see, just as well as I know that every child don't learn the same way. Okay, and so when you particularly take special education out of the education system, i.e., just dropping them in general education class with modifications and accommodations, then you basically taking out the mental and emotional aspects of the student being in those particular classes. Okay, see, I used to teach a resource special education class or English class, but it was all kids on the same level, actually, moving toward improving their literacy, understanding the phonemes and understanding morphemes and things that are going to actually help them become better readers. And they had actual improvement. That is a lot for you to ask for a teacher, a general education teacher, to have, 5 or 6 special education kids in her classroom with modifications and accommodations. And then you have 22 other kids that are general education that you have to make sure that they're accommodated with as well. Now you may say, well, why not put an extra teacher in the classroom? Okay, but let's think about that for a minute. See, the stigma, okay? When kids knew where they were learning, they were cool. But when you get kids in situations where you want to place all kids in the same type of learning environment, where that type of learning environment is not conducive to every child because each child learns differently. A lot of children learn differently. See, we're looking at, this notion of inclusion. But let's look at who actually get affected by it. Okay? Because remember, in 2002, third graders were being pretty much marked as, okay, they pass the test in third grade or they don't pass the test in third grade, special education. Look at the numbers. Look at the discrepancy. Look at the number of, and then if you look at the number of Spanish speakers that's in the public school system, how unfair is it to them? I'm just keeping it real. I mean, you have English-speaking teachers trying to teach Spanish-speaking children, and federal money is going to these particular programs. What? Okay, so I'm interested to see how this particular education bill is going to really address, the education needs of all students. Of course, yeah, the raise is cool, okay? And then, of course, if you look at the high school students, how exactly, and I'm gonna do a little bit more research on the family. How exactly are they going to accommodate those students that decide to drop out of high school? Okay, is there money in the budget that's going to address or going to particularly have a program for those students that drop out of high school? Are they going to have something for them to go back and gain additional skills? Like I talked about how they took vocational tech out of school. Are they going to have additional programs for kids for HVAC, auto mechanics? You know what I mean? Welding. Different type of skill sets that can allow these students that academically not inclined to graduate from high school for various reasons, of course, but they need to have an opportunity to succeed as well. Because I'm telling you, I'm from the 80s, and that program was in our school system. And so if we're having education bills that's supposed to improve the welfare of students, then it should be all students. If we have the data to show that all these kids are dropping out of school, then we need to give them more incentive to stay in school, not just for educational purposes, but for purposes for gaining skills, okay? Because not everybody's gonna go to college. You dig? And like I say, I'm an advocate for that. Because like as teachers, you're not always gonna teach your kids things from the textbook. As a real teacher, you're teaching your kids life lessons that can carry for a lifetime. You dig? Okay. So I just want to come back with a quick video about this family. Like I say, Texas did pass the education bill. The governor did sign it, and they had other programs in that bill. But like I say, I'm pretty much interested to see how is this bill going to affect the numbers of Afro-melanated kids in special education, and will there be a difference in the numbers of kids dropping out of high school? Because we have the data. Okay. Well, family, like I said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and push the notification button so you know when I'm dropping another video. All right? And in the meantime, between time, may the Most High Inside you bring you joy. And being well is out of 5,000.